How often can you change your program? How often, can you change your program? A program should coincide with a bulking phase, a building phase. Okay. So let's say, a building phase is going to be minimum 3 months. As simple as that, minimum 3 months. The first couple, 2-3 weeks on a new program, and this is going to vary depending on the program and how different it was from what you did previously. But when you hop onto a new program, you're going to have an acclimation period where the body has to acclimate to the demands of the new stimulus, the stimulus patterns, the difference in time, the difference in stress. So depending on the program, the first 1, 2, 3 weeks is going to be an acclimation period. And then from there, once your body acclimates to the unique demands of the program, then you can start to run. So on a building phase, you want to make sure it's a minimum of 3 months. Okay. Bulk, at minimum, probably 1 kilo of weight for 3 months. So, you can start a new phase after that. You can continue your bulk with a new 3, 4, 5 month phase of training. Or you can go into a cut and just hold with your program until you enter a new phase. Now, there's a couple caveats here. And obviously, lifting isn't an exact science. You can start a new phase. Like one time I started a phase of training with German volume training. And I did the 10 by 10 on squats with 185 pounds and 90 seconds of rest in between. And I literally could not walk 8 days later. My legs, my quads were so insanely sore 8 days later that I had to stop the program. Sometimes we get into a phase of training and we just hate it. We just hate it. In those rare cases, it's okay to, jump ship. We don't have to be like, but that's not really program hopping. Program hopping is a consistent pattern of behavior where we get distracted and we look for magic programs and we get bored in the gym. And, I don't know how to cure that because you're moving to a program with the same exercises. It's a mind, it's a breakdown of mental focus. It really is. It's as simple as that. We want to, if you get into a new program, okay, let's say you order a custom workout from me, and you can do so on my website, superlivingtoday.com. Just search custom in the search bar, plug. You order a custom workout from me, and I give it to you, or you're a client, and I give you a workout, and there are certain things about it you don't like or you want tweaked, then we evolve the program. That's okay. That's normal. That's healthy behavior. I don't like the overhead press, standing overhead press. Can I do seated pin press? Reasonable lateral swap. Absolutely. Hey, big, hairy, ugly dude. I don't like the hammer curl, or I've been thinking about using or trying the pinwheel curl. Can I swap that in this program? Absolutely. Maybe 2 weeks in, you find you don't like the pinwheel curl and you want to go back to the hammer curl. Is that program hopping? No. We're trying out a new exercise. You're not completely jumping ship on the program now. What you see is that someone will start a program and there'll be a couple aspects of the program they don't like. So instead of evolving the program, they'll just completely set it aside and do something else. And then they'll get into that program. There's a couple things they don't like. And then they'll hop over to a new program, or they'll get distracted. They'll start a program and there's a couple aspects they don't like. And then they see some other programs from some influencer because they're over consuming workout content. And I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting. I want to try that. I want to try that. I want to try that. This mindset can be cancerous. It is equatable to the person that wakes up every day, doesn't plan their food choices, and they live on whims. Like, what do I want for lunch? What do I want for dinner? What do I want? What do I want? We live in a world where everything is basically a la carte. Me and my wife do this. You know, we're going to do this tonight, Friday night. Do we want sushi? Do I want to drive to get sushi? Do I want teriyaki? Do I want Mexican? Do I want Mongolian? Right? I mean, everybody has free meals like that. But you have some people that live in that world constantly where they don't plan. They don't have, it's completely loose structure. They're trying to hit their macros and hit their calories and hit their protein intake by dicking around on whims. What do I want to do? Program hopping is the same thing, where we'll overconsume fitness content, and then we see a new workout, and we're like, I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. Ooh, that sounds interdasting. Ooh, this sounds interdasting. Look, I don't know, any of you. Okay, you're just watching my channel, The Big Hairy Ugly Dude, and I don't know where you're at. But if you are constantly hopping programs, you are not in the muscle building world. Okay, I'm going to say something, turn down, mute the audio, whatever. I'm going to say a naughty word. You're just fucking around. You have what's called fuck around-itis. You're not serious. That sounds hurtful. You're not serious, because the process requires that you do things a certain way. You can't just hop around from program to program. What do I want to do today? Oh, I didn't like that. What do I want to do today? Oh, I don't like that. What do I want to do today? Now, you'll get one or two people that'll say, but I just go in and train intuitively and got a lot stronger and, whatever. They probably had that could happen theoretically. But I highly, I've never seen anybody just randomly bumble through life without a sort of a structure, right? And it's not like the person's just going to do bench one. Oh, no, I don't want to do today. They're probably doing a lot of the same lifts over and over again. But the muscle building, strength building process it's a process. It requires certain things be in place. There are a lot of people that program hop, that jump around from program to program to program. And I think it's mostly because they don't like the process. I don't know. I hate to generalize. They want to go from point A to point B. But I see the same thing with nutrition. Nutrition is so important. A focused nutrition for muscle building is almost more difficult than focused nutrition for a cut, or almost more difficult than just going to the gym and sticking with a program. I see a lot of people that come to me that train really, really solidly, but they can't get their head out of their asses when it comes to having consistent nutrition that facilitates muscle building. You have to have both of these things in place. At some point, we need to mature. This isn't an insult. We need to get out of the childlike mindset that we're going, what do I want? Mom, I want chicken nuggets. Mom, I want macaroni and cheese. Mom, I want an orange juice box. Right? Living in the moment. At some point, we need to grow up. We need to have a training phase. We need to start flossing our teeth. We need to start paying our bills. We need to start living like adults. Okay? We need to start eating like we mean it. Look, outside of the freaks that are just born to run, the 99.9% of us that feel like our results are, we wish they were more amplified. If you want to amplify your results, you need to have concrete training phases that are structured. You need to have structured bulks. You need to have consistent nutrition that facilitates a lean bulk so you don't turn fat. You need to have these things in place. If you want to go from stick man to muscle man, it's going to take 5 to 10 years, unless you're super lucky. Maybe then it'll only take 3 to 4 years. But it's likely going to take more like 5, 7, 10 years. The reality of the situation is, if you want to go from that to as muscular as you can be, and some of you don't want to get to that level, that's fair. But if you want to go from stick man to muscle man, it is going to require discipline and focus and planning, nutrition, and programming for a long period of time. I'm going to end cap with this. I have had the luxury of working in the fitness industry for a long, long time. I ran my own forum, which was very successful. It was just a good community. I wasn't Magic or Harry Potter or anything. It was just a good community, and I got in early. And then I got in writing for other sites, started with Critical Bench, and then with my own website, and then with Muscle and Strength. I wrote and ran content for a long, long time, and then with Tiger Fitness. So basically 15 years of writing and communities and content and social media growing and all that kind of thing. So I've been around a lot of people. In my time in the industry, I've been around a lot of people, a lot of very successful people. Body transformation stories, interviewing top natural and regular bodybuilders. I've had a chance to interview everybody from Sean Clarita, the giant killer who competes in the Mr. Olympia. I interviewed him 14, 15 years ago when he was all natural and just a decent, natural champion. That's, I'm using that as an example. I've interviewed Frank Zane. I've worked with Jay Cutler. I've, worked with John Meadows. You name it. There's so many people I've worked with content-wise or in the gym. And here's the point. Everyone, I want you to hear this. Every one of these people, this vast sea of people, transformation stories, professional bodybuilders that use chemicals and ones that don't, everybody, just average Joes, doesn't matter. The successful have a routine for a long period of time. A routine for a long period of time. Consistent intake. They're not eating the same meals every day, but they have structure, a routine. Routine with their programming, routine with their nutrition. I know, like if somebody said to me, hey, Ryan Terry's coming in. Ryan Terry came in. I did a couple of videos with him. Some of you might know his name, or the Hodge twins, or I've done videos with those. When they would come into my office and we talk about content, I know how they would eat. I know I know their structure without even talking to them. None of them walks in like, I don't know what I'm going to have for lunch. Every last one of them knows exactly what they're going to have for lunch. And some of them might have a loose day. Let's go to Chipotle, but they know what to get at Chipotle. So they have those pieces in place. They're not guessing. They're nailing their nutrition. They're nailing their workouts. Their weight doesn't just, I'm going to stay at maintenance and hope I can gain, plantain. There's no hoping. There's a process, and they're all embedded in the same process. Does that make sense? I'm just going to end cap because we started talking about program hopping, and we kind of transitioned in nutrition. I made a video a couple of months back saying there's two things I know two major things that will lead to futility, not getting the results you want. And it ties into this discussion. Number one, no structured training that facilitates individuals getting a lot stronger than they are now in the lane of hard training. We want to focus on hard training, but that facilitates progressive overload and it facilitates individuals getting a lot stronger than they are now. So program hopping doesn't facilitate that. It is fuck around-itis, okay? Number two, when somebody's not serious about their weight just stays the same all the time. I have a lot of people that come to me that train hard, and their weight just does whatever. They don't take it seriously. There's no focus. Your weight has to be moving up or it has to be moving down. That's how body recomposition works. It has to be going in a direction. I have to be building muscle during a phase for an extended 3, 4, 5 month period of time, or a quick mini cut and then back to the phase. Body recomposition requires building phases that are structured and planned and cutting phases. It requires planning and consistency with your programming and your nutrition. And if you are one of these individuals that will get around to it when they get around to it, that is currently in some world of excuse, and I'm just speaking general to everybody, right? Like, I'll get around to it, or I like being at maintenance, or whatever, whatever the thing is, and you're not doing these two things, I know you're not getting the most out of your training. I know you're not, because I've worked with so many people over the years, and the people that are successful do the stuff they need to do, and they don't bitch, they don't complain, they don't whine, and they don't buy into their own fucking excuses. This is so critical. I don't want to do that. I don't feel like doing that. I do not give a fuck how you feel. Neither does the process, and that's what you guys need to understand. Program hopping, weight staying the same thing, staying at the same place, dicking around, messing around. I don't there's a process, and either you're doing it or you're not doing it. You have to be willing to get up every day and say, self, I need to do what I need to do to get to where I want to go. If not, let's be honest, let's be real. Let's have a moment of clarity, standing in front of the mirror. I'm just fucking off. Let's be real. I'm just fucking off. I'm just wasting my own time. Reality time, reality check. Now, look, lifting weights is one of the best things you can do for general health. Amen. Can I get an amen? One of the best things you can do. You combine that with a diet where you're eating mostly animal and plant-based to whatever degree you want. You combine those two things and you get at least 7,000 steps a day on average. You're going to have a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for good health. Life always has curveballs, and we never know. But lifting and eating animal and plant-based and getting in your steps, you're going to have a wonderful, wonderful base for health. That's not the same as muscle building. Okay? Hear me. That's not the same as the muscle building process. Lifting weights is not the same as focused training. You see many people at Planet Fitness and LA Fitness and whatever fitness doing the same stuff over and over again, never getting stronger than they are now, never truly applying progressive overload. They're eating healthy, eating mostly animal and plant-based. They're taking good care of themselves. Their body composition is reasonable. They look good. They're taking care of themselves. That is what's called healthy living. It's great for you. It's wonderful. That is not the muscle building process. Hear me. That is not the muscle building process.